I'm going to just acknowledge the fact that I am the junior member on council, meaning I've been here the least amount of time. I've got the least amount of experience with the budget. The rest of you have had a lot more time in the saddle to understand how things work. I've never heard from anybody here that it wasn't a good idea that we take the statutory increase. And the reasons for that were, and Councilman DePriest's, I'm going to, remind you of your prior words that we need to increase our base rate. And then the other part about this is that the cost of doing business continues to go up, not only for every taxpayer, but for the city as well. And we don't have to look any farther than what it costs for health insurance to the staff and for the city's liability insurance. Those are just two out of many instances. So I'm having a rough time equating that message that's been repeated time in and time again on previous council meetings when we've discussed money and what is going on now. I don't like paying taxes any more than anybody else here. I loathe paying them to the federal government, partially less to the state. But I think it's really important that we support the city so that it can run its operations and meet the expectations that everybody has as far as, delivering basic services that make this a good community. It's not like the city is going out and asking for a 10% increase for some exorbitant, pie in the sky plan. We're just talking about basic operations. And one thing that really concerns me, and this is part of coming from private industry, is that if you have an executive staff at a company that's nickel and diming you on the correct tools you need to do your job, that's demoralizing. It means that you cannot get your job done, even if they pay lip service to paying you COLAs or whatever else. But if you don't have the correct tools, you can't do your job. And, it bothers me the fact that if they have cost overruns, they would have to come to us and ask for an ordinance to appropriate more money to shift accounts. To me, it sounds counterintuitive and counter-efficient to the people in our city government that are doing their jobs. And the reason why I can say this here is that 3% is not a big ask compared to later on if, like Councilmember White brought up, what if we had to do something like foregone taxes? And that would be a really hard pill for the community to swallow, in addition to the fact that likely we're going to have to float a levy to pay for more law enforcement. So while I understand the expediency of giving everybody a zero tax increase this year, it doesn't logically make sense. And as I said in the last time we discussed this, I would be willing to compromise and go with something less, but not zero, just because of the reasons I state.
Can I respond to that? Yeah.